Now, I like to compost as much of my kitchen waste as possible, and while I often add it to my worm bins and my compost bins, another thing you can do during the winter months is to take your kitchen waste and use trench composting to break it down. So in this bed I'm probably going to grow a moisture dependent crop this summer, like courgettes or beans. This is a perfect bed to choose for trench composting. All I'm going to do is to take out, start at one end of the bed and take out a trench of soil. Just about a spade's depth is going to be fine. About 8 or 9 inches deep. Just take out one whole trench of soil. There you are, that's about it. About a spade's depth deep, right the way across the bed. And now I make about a bag of peelings from vegetables and fruits every other day in my garden, and all you've got to do is to sprinkle this. Old tea bags, fruit skin, anything like that can be tipped along the bottom of the trench. Crushed up eggshells are fine too. Leave that down there. Now I'm going to bury it. So you then start your second trench across the bed and you turn that soil over onto the old vegetable waste that you've put in the trench. And the idea is that that old vegetable material, I haven't rotten it down in the compost heap. This will break down naturally in the soil and the worms and the soil organisms will start feeding on it. But that will break down. So I take out the second trench, about the same depth as the first one. Then I can get some more of my vegetable peelings, some bits of old veg and fruit skins and so on can go in there. And now I bury that till you start your next trench along and you bury it down. You could just continue from one end of the bed to the other, and the buried material will rot down. And because I'm going to plant out my crops on top of this bed for the summer, the roots of the marrows and courgettes and beans, whatever else I plant on here, will delve down into that lovely organic matter that I've buried down at the bottom underneath them, and those will get down into these old fruit skins and bits and pieces. The roots will get down into it, and the organic matter, which locks in moisture and produces lots of nutrients, will sustain the crop during the summer. So just continue down the bed, taking out a trench, putting in some vegetable material, burying it. Then you can level the surface of this bed and it will be ready for the spring. So the last one I've got here today, just one more bag to put out today. I can continue the rest of this over the coming weeks. This old material can be spread out, buried down at the bottom here. This will just provide some lovely rich organic material for worms like this to delve down into and feed on, and it adds some organic matter for free, saves me buying another bag of compost. All of that matter will break down, so it's buried nicely with a few inches of soil. I'll be planting into that in the spring. The roots will get right down into that rich organic matter and sustain the crops through the summer months.